Caitlin Clark did it once again. Her jersey retirement game didn't just pull in big numbers, it shattered records, even outshining A'ja Wilson. The hype around Clark is real, and at this point, there's no denying it. She's officially become the biggest star in women's basketball.
Would Caitlin Clark not consider A'ja Wilson in her retirement? No. We don't think that it's fair that Caitlin Clark would have her retirement ceremony on the same day as A'ja Wilson's retirement ceremony, even though they both wear the same number 22. Even though Caitlin Clark just graduated college, she has well over many accolades to have her jersey retired, but everyone's lives should revolve around A'ja Wilson, and she should wait. I think all of you need to shut your pie holes. You shut your pie holes right now. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. No one's world is going to revolve around A'ja Wilson just because she's retiring too.
Now here's where things get interesting. A'ja Wilson, whose jersey retirement also took place on the same day, isn't exactly thrilled about it. And it's easy to see why. Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement game wasn't just a big moment, it was the moment, drawing in massive viewership numbers that completely overshadowed anything Wilson has done. Instead of celebrating the growth of women's basketball, Wilson seems more focused on her own spotlight fading as Clark's influence takes center stage.
Like this guy, he says, one brought a chip to their program and made it into a powerhouse and top destination for future recruits. The other is Caitlin Clark. But congratulations to the both of them on their historic college careers.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark is the reason people are tuning in. Her deep threes, record-breaking performances, and ability to captivate audiences have taken women's basketball to new heights. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, despite her years in the WNBA, hasn't managed to generate the same level of excitement or attention.
A sellout crowd, not a shocker. I think it was like at almost 15,000, if not at 15,000 people, and the tickets were pretty expensive.
It's not just about marketing. Caitlin Clark's talent is undeniable. She's electrifying, and her performances have made her a must-watch on TV. A'ja Wilson, however, hasn't sparked the same level of excitement. Rather than embracing the moment and acknowledging what Clark is doing for the game, Wilson seems to be more focused on the attention Clark is getting. She's voiced frustration about it before, but the reality is that Clark has earned it. The numbers don't lie. More people are invested in Caitlin Clark than ever were in Wilson. And that's got to hurt.
Wilson, okay, she would have her jersey retired on February 2nd, okay? Be technical, okay, technically speaking. Hers was first announced on February 2nd. And then last April, I believe, of April of last year, 2024. And then it was then announced that Iowa, okay, the state, the Hawkeyes.
Caitlin Clark hasn't even stepped into the WNBA yet, but she's already drawing more attention and selling out arenas faster than A'ja Wilson ever did. If Wilson truly wanted the spotlight, maybe she should have done more to earn it. At the end of the day, Clark is the future. The records, the ratings, and the fans all prove it. Caitlin Clark continues to solidify her place as the biggest name in women's basketball, not just through her record-breaking performances, but also by how she connects with her fans. During her emotional jersey retirement speech, she took a moment to thank her supporters, acknowledging how expensive the tickets were and how much it meant to her that so many showed up. That kind of genuine appreciation is what makes Clark special. She knows she's a huge draw, but she never takes it for granted.
I'm pretty overwhelmed right now, but there's just a lot of people to thank. First of all, my teammates. I wouldn't be here without any of you, and a lot of you came back, and you know, you have busy schedules, and I think that just speaks to the culture of this place, you know, so selfless. Like, I know my number's up there, but it wouldn't be if it wasn't for all of you. So to the ones that were my teammates when I was here, I really appreciate you guys, and I love you.
Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson likely wishes she had that kind of pull. The harsh truth is, South Carolina had to give away free tickets just to get people to show up for her ceremony. That's embarrassing, especially for a so-called superstar who's supposed to dominate the WNBA, yet couldn't even sell tickets for her own event. It speaks volumes. Wilson likes to present herself as the face of the league, but the reality is, she doesn't move the needle the way Caitlin Clark does. Let's talk numbers. Clark's games have been breaking viewership, records left and right, drawing more eyes than most WNBA matchups combined.
Also, I've said this before, I feel like one of my greatest skills is I really don't care. I don't care. I believe in myself, I'm confident in myself, I'm confident in my teammates. I try to instill that in them. I'm confident in the coaching staff, on whatever team I was on, whether that was here, whether that's at the Fever now. And you just rely on those people, and nobody gets to step inside your locker room, whether it was here at Iowa or whether it was with the Fever now. Everybody thinks they know everything and have an answer, but that's just not reality, and that goes for all of professional sports, and really that goes for all of you as well and people in life.
The demand for Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement was so high that fans were willing to pay big money just to witness history. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson has been in the WNBA for years and still struggles to generate even a fraction of that kind of excitement. If she were truly the star she claims to be, people would be willing to spend money to see her. But they're not.
Is that it's on the same day as the A'ja Wilson jersey retirement, and the price it is cost to get into South Carolina. It cost $64. $64 to get the A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement. It is $1,000. $1,000 in the same night to get in Iowa.
Instead of facing this reality, A'ja Wilson has clearly become bitter, frustrated that her own career hasn't had the same cultural impact. That's the difference between a true superstar and someone who just wants to be one. Caitlin Clark doesn't need to beg for attention. People want to watch her. Wilson, not so much. Fans aren't blind to this either. The reaction on social media has been harsh for Wilson. Many have pointed out how she constantly talks about respect, yet refuses to give Clark the credit she deserves. Maybe that's because deep down, Wilson knows Clark has already surpassed her in popularity, and she hasn't even stepped into the WNBA yet. The reality is, Wilson's dominance is manufactured. She's been hyped up by the WNBA because they need her to be a star. But if she were truly that great, why don't people care? Why are tickets being given away for free? Why do people change the channel when she plays, but flock to watch Clark? The answer is simple. Caitlin Clark is better, more exciting, and the real face of women's basketball.
Guys, everyone was back for Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement. And everyone was there. It was...
From the moment the game tipped off, it was clear that this was the event in sports. While other games were taking place, across the country nothing came close to the sheer excitement, energy, and massive fan turnout for Caitlin Clark's historic night. The viewership numbers were through the roof, once again proving that Clark isn't just a star, she's the biggest draw in women's basketball. What made this night even more special was that Iowa didn't just show up for the moment, they dominated. The crowd was electric, feeding off Clark's energy as she led her team to victory. She made sure the celebration wasn't just about her, but about the entire program's success. This wasn't some sentimental send-off where the outcome didn't matter. Caitlin Clark made sure to put on a show, reminding everyone why she's the biggest name in the game. But what happened after the final buzzer was just as telling. Normally, after a game, fans start trickling out of the stadium, heading home, or back to their usual routines. Not this time. When Caitlin Clark took the microphone for her speech, no one left. The stadium stayed packed, with fans hanging on to every word, cheering for her, and soaking in the historic moment.
You were 5 years old when you decided on number 22, as the story goes. If we were to tell that 5-year-old what today was going to be, what would she have said?
Honestly, I'm very overwhelmed. This has been absolutely incredible. Just being here and feeling this energy again, there's really no place like this place, and I truly mean that. And it's special for me, it's special for my family, and a lot of my former teammates are back here, former coaches, the coaching staff, and some of my teammates that are still on the team. But, I'm just very lucky and grateful and very fortunate. At 5 years old, you don't dream of something like
It wasn't just a game. It was a movement. Compare that to what happens at most women's sports events, even on big WNBA nights. You often see arenas with empty seats, fans leaving early, and games struggling to capture national attention. But Caitlin Clark has changed all of that. Her impact isn't just felt during the game, it extends long after it ends. Fans aren't just watching her, they're invested in her. They want to be part of her journey, to witness history, and to say they were there when Caitlin Clark took over the sport. That's what's making so many players, including some in the WNBA, uncomfortable. Clark is doing something no one else has. She's making women's basketball a must-watch event. The attention she's bringing to the game is something others have wanted for years but never managed to achieve. And now that she's proving how huge the sport can be, it's exposing the reality that certain so-called superstars were never as big of a deal as they wanted people to believe. The truth is, Clark's jersey retirement game overshadowed everything else happening in sports that day. The NBA had games, college basketball was in full swing, and yet all eyes were on Iowa. That's not normal for a women's college game, but Clark has made it the new normal. She's proving that the excuses about why women's sports don't draw big audiences were never true. Fans will show up, tune in, and spend money when there's a player who truly moves the needle.
Incredible about Caitlin is, I said it often, very few people can deliver every night. If you wanted her to shoot a logo, she did it. A pass from the, 3/4 length of the court, maybe a little sassy with the ref, she did it, usually. She never disappointed. But the thing that was the coolest about coaching this young woman is she is the same today as when she came in. She is full of confidence. She's full of grace, and she has an unbelievable power to make everybody around.
Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records. She's completely redefining the landscape of women's basketball. After this historic night, one thing is clear: she's just getting started. Clark has redefined what it means to be the face of women's basketball, and the way the sports world is reacting proves that she's not just a star. She's a movement. What made this moment so special wasn't just the accolades. It was the overwhelming flood of support from all corners of the sports world. Even the WNBA, a league that has often struggled to give its stars the recognition they deserve, took the time to appreciate Clark. They flooded social media, posting about her groundbreaking achievements, celebrating her influence, and acknowledging the massive impact she's made in such a short time.
22 to the top of the building. There will never be another basketball player like Caitlin Clark. There will never be another 22 worn by an Iowa Hawkeye basketball player. Caitlin's jersey immortalized in a ceremony that preceded another uncanny performance by her former team. But the reason that every seat in Carver Hawkeye Arena was filled today was to see this generational star return to the stage that made her a worldwide icon.
Caitlin Clark's influence is so profound that even with a massive milestone like A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement happening, people couldn't focus on anything but Clark. It was almost as if Wilson's retirement became an afterthought, lost in the shadow of Clark's brilliance. Social media posts celebrating Wilson's achievement were few and far between, with much of the attention drawn toward Clark's historical moment. The buzz surrounding Clark's jersey hanging in the rafters seemed to completely overshadow Wilson's big day, and that's the real story. While Wilson may have had her moment in the spotlight, receiving her accolade, she simply couldn't compete with the magnitude of Caitlin Clark's presence. Fans were far more interested in Clark's legacy than anything related to Wilson. Clark's talent and star power transcend the game itself. She's become a cultural icon, someone who has inspired countless people to pick up a basketball, follow women's sports, and pay attention to the stories of women athletes who have long been overlooked.
Already feeling the Caitlin Clark effect. Ticket sales and prices already off the charts. Her jersey selling out within an hour after the Fever drafted her.
Caitlin Clark's farewell wasn't just about an emotional send-off. It was about watching her former team pull off an incredible victory, making the night even more special for her. It wasn't just about seeing her jersey hang in the rafters. It was about witnessing Iowa's continued success and knowing she played a huge role in building that legacy. And of course, when Caitlin Clark is involved, the viewership numbers skyrocket. Once again, her presence turned a college basketball game into must-watch TV. Fans didn't just tune in for the ceremony, they stayed to watch Iowa play, proving that Clark's influence goes beyond just her own performances. She's built a following that doesn't just care about her, they care about everything she touches.
Definitely an upset. And I don't know, you gotta think, does Caitlin Clark have some magic dust in the air?
This isn't normal for women's basketball. Most players, even top stars, don't draw this kind of attention after leaving college. But Caitlin Clark is different. Her ability to bring in record-breaking numbers, even when she's not playing, shows just how much she's elevated the sport. While other athletes struggle to capture attention, Clark makes it look effortless. Her jersey retirement wasn't just about honoring her, it was another reminder that Caitlin Clark runs women's basketball right now. Whether she's on the court or in the stands, she's the center of attention. And as always, the numbers prove it. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.